Hi, dear students. This is another video regarding CPZ examination. And in this video, I am trying to explain you some organic related questions, questions from organic chemistry and related questions, which are given in CPZ 2019. And I'm trying to give maximum basic concepts for each and every question. And about 30 plus questions I am explained here. I have explained this one. And what my request is, watch the video till the end so that you can get some concepts, and that concepts were useful for your any entrance examination, which includes the chemistry. That is, for example, you can see IIT JOM or NEET examination, MSc Chemistry, or HCU Central University, and like that, any examination wherever you get the chemistry questions from organic part, maximum basics. Actually, question paper is made with certain basic points. Some questions involves two different concepts included in one, and you can have an idea when you watch this video. You can have an idea how the questions are framed in the competitive examination. And I mainly focused on the organic chemistry reactions. And in the future, I will going to give you some other from inorganic and also physical chemistry. First of all, I am trying to give you from this organic chemistry. Please watch this video till the end. If it is useful, if you feel it is useful, you will share this video to the needed to students and also subscribe. And also the 2019 question paper with answers, totally the entire question paper with the key. And there is you can see in the description box, and there where a link is provided. From that link you can download the question paper and also the key from discussion box. Okay, let us start this one. See, in this I mainly focused on the organic chemistry and related questions with explanatory answers. Basic concepts for each question is provided, and it is useful for your JEE Mains, IIT JOM exam, MSc Chemistry for different universities in Central University, CPZ, NEET. And this is my YouTube channel, Alshala's Chemistry, or other one you can type the Ashok Alshala in YouTube search bar. You can get my videos, which are more and more useful for the competitive examinations like MSc Chemistry or anyhow. Let us see some questions. Let us see the first question. What is this question? See, the question is always, you remember that the question will be always provided in English and Telugu medium, because it is a TS state, Telangana state, the two is provided. Let us see, identify X and Y in the following reaction sequence. Okay, here it is Telugu is there, you can read this one. And the C8H8, when it is treated with the dilute sulfuric acid, you got this compound, a secondary alcohol, which on provided the ketone, a methyl phenyl ketone, and given Y. Then what I hear the question, what is the question? X and Y we have to find out. What is the reagent in this step? What is the product in this step? Later, what may be the answer? X and Y, what are these answers? MCPBA, you remember MCPBA means metachloroperbenzoic acid. It is mainly used for peroxidation. Peroxy bond is there, and it is used for the formation of the oxidation, mainly that is epoxides are formed. And this is a ketone and having the bromine, because there is a bromine is there. Okay, this is another option, this is another option, this is another option. See, this is a chromic acid is a mild oxidizing agent, therefore the C8H8 means there is will be a benzene ring itself. This can see there is a benzene ring is there. And another important one is a dilute, and that is sulfuric acid, so that here there is a what is called as the OH is substituted here. That's why you will get the secondary alcohol. Suppose if you use this MCPBA and this secondary alcohol going to the convert into the what is called as a ketone and further converted into the carboxylic acid. Therefore, this is not an option. X is not. Therefore, this option is not. And for example, you take the chromic acid. This is an oxidizing agent and a mild oxidizing agent. And then when you use this one, the secondary alcohols are converted into ketone. Okay, X is okay. And similarly, when this is treated with the bromine and sodium hydroxide, you remember this is also mild oxidizing agent. And in this way, you will get the Y is correct answer. Therefore, the answer you can say that is second one is the answer. And why not the third one is not answer? Of course, from here you will get this compound, no doubt. But this compound does not form on treating with the bromine and sodium. And you remember that whenever you use the potassium permanganate, this is a strong oxidizing agent. The reaction never stops here. This continues to be the benzoic acid. That's why only the second option is right answer. And see this explanation, that is generally the ketones instead of R there is a pH is there. I am giving a general concept. And instead of R you can take alkyl or aryl or hydrogen. Whenever treated with a halogen with a base, it leads to the carboxylate ion. And that what is my reaction is here. This is whenever it is treated with the halogen and this one you will get a carboxylate ion. Now see, this is going to be the mechanism. How does it is happens? Okay, you can watch this mechanism by pausing the video also. Okay, no need to much explanation here, because this is not much needed for you to explain. Already there is arrow marks are there. How does this hydroxide ion is added and what has happened this one? And if I explain all these things, what happens? The length of the video will be extended. Just to go through this one. Now let us go for the other one. Observe the following tetrahedral intermediates that are formed when nucleophile attacks acyl carbon of various carbonyl compounds. You have to, whenever you are in the examination hall, read the question twice, because you have to understood first the question is perfectly. For that reason, you read the question second time, then you understood the question. See what is the question is given. If you observe the question is going to be, what is that? What you have to identify. Here, observe that the following tetrahedral that formed when nucleophile attacks acyl carbon atom of the various carbonyl. What we have to identify in this one. Which of these intermediate will lead to the substitution product? This we have to identify. And which of this one? See, from this explanation, what you understood, see here. Here it is already nucleophile is added. Then here it is not possible to substitution. Here also not possible substitution. By because I'll tell you here. Here it is a chlorine is there, and here another is the NH2 is there. These two acts as the leaving groups, and that's why. And 3 and 4 are going to be the this is intermediate will lead to the substitution product. These are not. Why? Because here it is R is there alkyl group. It is not a good leaving group. This is also not a good leaving group. That's why it is. These are not what I might say nucleophiles. See, the answer is going to be the first option, and third and fourth are the answers for this. These are the two options which gives the substitution product. Now let us go for the another question. The product of a nitro compound A, C3H7NO2 and nitrous acid does not dissolve in sulfuric acid. See, remember here whenever you read the question, try to underline where it is an important point. The important point is here does not dissolve in sodium hydroxide, means it is not acidic in nature. Nitro compound A gave B when treated with the NaOH followed by sulfuric acid. Isomer of A when treated, okay, nitro compound A gave B when reacted with sodium hydroxide followed by sulfuric acid. Isomer of A when reacted with the formaldehyde and ammonia chloride gave C. What are We have to identify only B and C. We have to identify only B and C. What is a B compound and what is a C compound? Let us see what is this nitro compound. Let me explain. First, let us see this answer is 1. This is going to be the acetone, and another one is this compound. See how you will get this answer. First, you see the formula C3H7NO2. This means a nitro hydrocarbon, and does not dissolve in sodium hydroxide, means it is not having any alpha hydrogen. Okay, first you find out what is this compound. Okay, let us take the explanation. And this is going to be the our compound C3H7NO2, and here because of there is an alpha hydrogen, there is nitroacid tautomerism is possible. That's why you'll get the enol form, and it dissolves in the sodium hydroxide and sodium salt is formed, which on what is called hydrolysis, that is in acidic medium, you will get the ketone. This is what is B. See once again the question. The product of nitro A compound and nitrous acid product, the nitrous acid does not dissolve in sodium hydroxide, and that means that nitrous acid, okay, and nitro compound A gives B. This gives B. That means when it is dissolved in sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid, this is the what is the question. This product, this is going to be the product from it was formed that compound. And here whenever it is treated with the sodium hydroxide followed by acidification, you will get a ketone, that is going to be the acetone, and that is going to be the B is the acetone. Okay, now let us go for the when isomer of A, this isomer of this compound A when treated with the formaldehyde ammonium chloride gave C. And what is, let us see this one. See, this is going to be the nitropropane. When treated with the formaldehyde and ammonium chloride, you will get the compound C. And what is C here? This is going to be the here that is going to be the methyl. And here, what is the name of this compound? I will tell you this name. Where it is cursor. See, this is going to be the first carbon, second carbon, third and fourth. This is going to be 2 nitro, 1 amino butane is the compound. And see what is actually A compound. Have we identified what is A? A is nothing but, what is the A? A is nothing but the compound is consists of these structures. Now come to the another point. See, you have to remember what is the important point is it is a primary nitroalkane where it is having 2 alpha hydrogen. That's why it dissolves in sodium hydroxide, and this acts as an acidic in nature, and you will get this salt. And if it is a secondary nitrohydrocarbon, it is also consists of 1 alpha hydrogen. It is also dissolves in sodium hydroxide. But whenever you see this tertiary nitroalkane, it has no alpha hydrogen. It never dissolves in sodium hydroxide and does not show acidic nature. These key points you have to remember for answering in nitrohydrocarbons. Let us go for the another question. In organic compound, X dissolves in dilute HCl. X dissolves in dilute HCl means X must be an base, but does not give IR absorption band in displayed IR absorption at 3500 to 34,000. See, this you have to remember. See, it is compound A dissolves in dilute HCl means it is a what is said to be it is a base, but it does not show any what is called as 3500 to 3400 centimeter inverse in IR spectrum. And here this is you can see here this is the case. Whereas the compound Y does not dissolve in dilute HCl, but the displayed IR absorption spectrum in this region means Y does not dissolve in dilute HCl means it is not a base. Okay, then we have to identify what is X and what is Y. Okay, let me first of all I will tell you the answer and I will give the explanation. See, the second one is the answer. Okay, first I will explain you this why it is second one is the answer. compound X dissolves in dilute HCl because it is a basic in nature, because it is a tertiary amine where there is a lone pair of electrons are there. It can accept the proton. That's why forms a quaternary salt. That's why it dissolves in one. And why does not dissolve in dilute HCl? Because it does not dissolve because it is amide. Amide is not a base, not acidic. It is amphoteric nature and weakly acidic, weakly basic, depending on the condition, experimental condition. See, let us go for this IR spectrum region. Okay, before going to that, I will go for the next slide. See, in the case of the, there is a NH single bond. If it is NH single bond, then only it ranges from 2700 to the 4000, means the 3500 comes in this range. The compound which contain NH bond only shows this stretching frequency. That's why you see here now. Here in this case, there is no nitrogen-hydrogen bond is there. A nitrogen-hydrogen single bond is there. That's why it does not show absorption at 3500 to 3400. Whereas here you can see nitrogen-hydrogen is there. That's why it shows an absorption frequency at 3500 to 34,000 angstroms. See, whereas this case, here there is NH bond, there is NH bond. Therefore, both shows this, what I meant to say, this spectrum. And here also there is NH and here it is amide. Here you can see there is a NH is there. Because of this NH, the X must shows this absorption spectrum. That's why it is also not according to this question. And you see here X dissolves in this one. That is, it does not dissolve in HCl. That's why X dissolves in HCl, but here this compound does not. That's why our answer is the second answer. This is going to be the thing you have to remember. Now another question, solution of ZnCl2 and concentrated HCl turned cloudy on heating with an alcohol A. That you have to remember, the mixture of ZnCl2 and HCl is called as a Lucas reagent. A on reaction with PBr3 and then with the reagent B is converted to C. That is, when A reacts with the PBr3, that will give the B, and it is converted into the C as the major product. Which on reaction give D? What is A, B, D? And you remember, you have to find out what is A, B, D. See, let us see. What is the important point? This gives turned cloudy on heating. You remember, this is the one point. And another one, A on reaction with PBr3, and that will give the B. B is converted into the C, but C is not asked to identify. And another one, which on reduction gave D. Then what are the A, B, D? It was asked. See, what is this reaction? First, let me show you what is the answer for this one. Second option is the answer. And that is, this is going to be the answer. Then let me explain why this is only the answer. See, remember, the solution of ZnCl2 in concentrated HCl is known as the Lucas reagent. Remember, this is going to be the Lucas reagent, this mixture. And with this Lucas reagent, the primary alcohol do not have any reaction. You remember, this is at room temperature. Whereas the secondary alcohol, they will give the turbidity or the reaction after 5 minutes. Whereas the tertiary alcohol will give the immediately. As soon as this Lucas reagent is added, the solution turns cloudy. This will take the 5 minutes. This does not take place at room temperature, but on heating, it will turn turbidity. Means our question, see, I already told you, turn cloudy on heating. Whenever you get a turn on cloud heating, that alcohol must be a primary alcohol. Okay, now select in this what is a primary alcohol. This is also primary alcohol. This is also. Okay, this is a secondary alcohol, this tertiary. Therefore, these two options are ruled out. Now let us see among these two which is the A is correct. Then which is the B and which is the D we have to find out. And see, then let me explain you the equation here. Okay. See, let me explain this one. See, in this case, when this among these two, this one propanol when treated with the sodium cyanide, the reaction does not take place because it is an ionic compound and the cyanide ion never replaces the hydroxide ion in this substitution reaction. And whereas if you go, this is ionic compound, whereas this is somewhat covalent nature because the silver is a less electropositive in nature. And that's why during the course of the reaction, what happens when the silver cyanide is added, and this undergo takes place here in the form of isocyanate. After that isocyanate, when reduced, that is when D, see here, which on reduction gave D, when isocyanate on reduction gave this compound. That's why the option for this answer is 2. In this way, you have to identify, and this is the concept you have to remember what happens and what is a Lucas reagent, how the Lucas, with the help of the Lucas reagent, how to identify the primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. Now let us go for the another one. Identify the statement that is not correct from the following. See, what is this? The first statement. Benzene free from thiophene is obtained by shaking both by, what is that acid here used? You have to remember what is the important thing is. Here it is by shaking the HNO3. And pyrrole resembles aniline in reactivity. This is right because pyrrole contains nitrogen and aniline also nitrogen. There is some basic property this shows. And furan is less aromatic than pyrrole. This is also right. And here pyridine resembles nitrobenzene in reactivity towards electrophilic substitution because pyridine also an aromatic nature, nitrobenzene also aromatic nature. They show both. What is this one? It is right. And you remember, identify the statement that is not correct. In these statements, you remember that all the statements are right. This statement is right, this statement is right, this statement is also right. I will explain you how. This statement only the wrong statement. Why? See here. The answer is the first one. This is not correct statement. What is the reason? Let's see. Shaking a mixture of benzene and thiophene with sulfuric acid at room temperature causes sulfonation of the thiophene. Sulfonation of the thiophene, but leaves the benzene untouched. The thiophene sulfonic acid is dissolves in the sulfuric acid layer, which can be separated. You can then wash, dry, and distill. The benzene gets separated. See, that is going to be here. They used concentrated sulfuric acid to separate benzene and thiophene, not concentrated nitric acid. We have to use the concentrated sulfuric acid. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Why these statements are right? I already told you. Pyrrole resembles aniline because in its some basic properties. Furan is less aromatic than pyrrole, and this I will explain you. And here pyridine resembles nitrobenzene because this is also having aromatic ring. This is also aromatic ring. That's why they undergo same electrophilic substitution reaction. See here, the order of the aromaticity, benzene aromatic character is greater than thiophene. It is greater than pyrrole. This is greater than the furan. This order you remember. This is useful for your heterocyclic compounds also. Now let us see. Which of the following represent the structure of D-mannopyranose? Okay, I will give you all these structures. Let me tell you the answer is the fourth is the answer. This is going to be the answer. Why? Because we have to remember the structures. How to remember the structures also I will give you some hint. See, these are the Haworth structure formula. These are the child forms of this one. See, in this, the first option is the D-glucopyranose. See how many carbons are in axial position and equatorial position. You have to remember. These two are, this is the case is equatorial position here, and this is only axial position, equatorial position like this. You try to remember what is the positions of the OH. In the given compound, the first option, that is I given here, the first option, this is going to be the, what is called as the, this is D-glucopyranose. Similarly, the second option is a D-galactopyranose, and the third option is the D-allopyranose, and our answer is this one, fourth option, where which is called as D-mannopyranose. You try to remember and how the positions of the hydroxyl groups are different, where it is their position, which is in axial position, like that. You try to practice this one, try to remember, so that you can answer this type of questions. Now let us see, this is going to be the amino acid containing guanidine group. Actually, this guanidine group is not given in the question. For understanding, I wrote here. Actually, this is not a part of the question. The amino acid containing guanidine group is lysine, valine, proline, arginine. You have to know for this guanidine group and also the structures of amino acids. Otherwise, we can't answer for such questions. Let me tell you first of all, the answer is the fourth, arginine. Let us see what is the structure of lysine, valine, proline, and arginine. This is going to be the structures. This is going to be the lysine, and our what is that group is see what is that our group. This is the group that is going to be the guanidine. We call it as the. Now in this the guanidine group is not there, and here also valine. Here also that group is not there. Here it is proline. Here also that group is not there. Whereas in arginine the guanidine group is present. And here another important point also I want to tell you here, this how these amino acid, this is said to be the basic amino acid, because there are two amino groups are there, that's why it is basic amino acid. Here it is a neutral amino acid. Why? Because one amino group, one COOH is there, that's why its nature is neutral. Whereas here also only amino group is there, that's why it is neutral. But here 1, 2, 3, that is more basic in nature, this one. Okay, that means if an amino acid contain more than one H2, that will be basic in nature. More than one CO2H, that is acidic in nature. If the NH2 groups and number of COH are same, then it is neutral in nature. Now let us see, this is another important one. Which of the following molecular orbital represent excited state of HOMO of 1,3-butadiene? Let's see this one. What are this one? Answer is 3. Then I will explain you what is the answer. Here this is going to be the excited state of the LUMO. This is the ground state of HOMO. This is the excited state of HOMO. This is going to the ground state of LUMO. Then how to remember this one? You try to practice this diagram. You try to practice this energy profile diagram so that you can identify, see, this is going to be the ground state of HOMO. This is going to be the ground state of LUMO, and this is going to be the excited state of HOMO, and this is going to be the excited state of LUMO. Just to try to practice, all lobes are on the same side, that is positive lobes and negative lobes are same side. And here two lobes and two lobes are on opposite side. Here the middle lobes are on the that is middle lobes are one side and these two are another side. And this way you try to practice these lobes so that you can very easy to remember. First ground state HOMO, next ground state LUMO, next excited state HOMO, another one is excited state LUMO. In this way you remember the 1,3-butadiene orbital pictures, which are LUMO, HOMO, and also excited state and ground state. Now, what is this? The major product from the following reaction is, what is this? Meso 2,3-dibromobutane iodide, when it is treated with the iodide. Let me tell you the first of all, the answer is 3. What is this one? This is going to be the trans-2-butene is the answer. Then how does it is happens? Let us see all the reaction. Here I provided the reaction. This compound is said to be the meso 2,3-dibromobutane. When it is treated with the iodide, it undergoes SN2 reaction. See, the bromide ions are substituted by the iodides. And after this, there is a bond rotation takes place. And here, the elimination of iodide, after that, you will get a transalkene. And that transalkene is this compound. This is only, this is cisalkene. Here, this both, one is cis, another is trans. Both compounds are for first case, only cis compound is the second case, trans compound is the third case, and the substitution of the bromine is this one. This is ruled out perfectly, and we have to find out whether this or this or this. But the reaction shows that it is only the what is called as the trans-2-butene is the product of this reaction. Now let us see which of the following represent functional group interconversion, FGI, functional group interconversion. See, let me tell you first of all what is the answer. The answer is 3, that is 1 and 4. See why it is 1 and 4. Before going to that, I want to explain this thing. Functional group interconversion, the operation of writing one functional group of another so that the disconnection became possible. The reverse of a chemical reaction, the reverse of chemical reaction must be possible. Symbol, this represents FGI written. Normal, not normal arrow mark. This is double-headed arrow mark with FGI over it. See, this is going to be the, what I meant to say. If you see this one, and I will explain you very simple technique for you, which is a one. See, in this case, the CO2H is converted into the CH3. There is no byproduct. Here, another is here CH3 is converted, that is methyl benzene is converted into the benzene, but here it is a byproduct is there. And here OCH3 is converted into the OH, here it is the byproduct is the dimethyl sulfoxide we have to use for this conversion. Whereas here the chlorine is replaced by this one. What is our answer is 3. Why it is answer is 3, 1 and 4? Because in 1 there is no byproduct. Simply by oxidation you can convert into this compound, and simply by reduction in different methods you can convert into here. And similarly here also this is not possible because here it is a byproduct is there. Simple conversion without using this is not possible, and we have to done it is alkylation. Whereas here also the byproduct is there, that's why a reverse connection is not possible. But here the chlorine can be substituted by the OH. In this way, here the first one and the fourth one are said to be the examples for the functional group interconversion, but not 2 and 3. That's why our option is the third option. Now let us see the other question. Which of the following will give doublet and quartet? See what is this one? What point you have to remember? One is the doublet, another is the quartet in HNMR. See, doublet means 2 lines, quartet means 4 lines. You know that n plus 1 rule. And let us see adjacent protons. N is the number of adjacent protons. Let us first of all, let me tell you the answer. That is the fourth answer. That is going to be the extraordinary. We need doublet and quartet. Let us see the NMR spectra of these 4 compounds. The first one is going to be the, this is what is going to be the acetic acid. Here it will give the NMR spectra at 2.10. Here it is 11.1. But our scale here, this is only 1 proton. That's why you'll get, you have a small peak here. Whereas here this one, you'll get only, see, that is a singlet you get. There is no neighboring protons on the carbon. That's why you'll get only singlet proton of 3 protons. That's why the peak size is greater. Let us go for the other one is the ethyl chloride. See, there is a adjacent protons, and there is no doubt here it is 1.49. You will get the quartet because 3 plus this is 1 plus. Okay, here it is going to be the at 1.49. This is going to be 3.42. And here it is going to be the 3.42, and you will get 1 plus 3. That's why you will get the quartet for this one. And whereas here I will tell you here, see, for this you will get the quartet, here for this you will get the triplet. Because why it is a triplet? Because here 1 plus 2, this is 1 proton and this 2 proton, 1 plus 2 is, you get. Here this peak size is greater because here it is 3 proton. That's why the peak size. And you know that 1:2:1 will be the ratio of the lines. Here 1:2:2 is the ratio of the lines. That means here you get one is triplet, another is the quartet. But what we need, doublet and quartet. Now let us go for this ethane, because ethane is a similar protons. Therefore, you will get only a singlet for the NMR spectra, and that is going to be here, that is at 0.86 in proton spectroscopy. Then let us see here. This is going to be our answer, where here 1 proton, here 3 protons. Because of this 1 proton, this will give the, see here, this will give the quartet, one proton, because 1 plus 3. Therefore, this proton will give the quartet. Whereas here, this is one proton, you take adjacent protons is only one. Therefore, 1 plus 1, you will get only doublet. That's why only from acetaldehyde that will give the doublet as well as the quartet. That's why our answer is the this option. Okay, now let us go for the another. Arrange the following in the correct acidity order of the alpha CH2 protons. You remember alpha CH2 groups generally having the what is called as the acidic nature. See, this proton is having acidic nature. Of course, this is also alpha, and this also having the acidic nature because adjacent to the carbonyl group. And here this is also alpha hydrogen. This is one, and here this is also having this one. Now the question is, when these alpha hydrogens, when flanked between the carbonyl group, that is more acidic, because they can shift that alpha hydrogen during the tautomerism, it can shift to this carbon and so also to this carbon. That's why here this is more acidic. Now compare, so now come to this point and this one. Here the benzene ring also an electron withdrawing group, and that's why the alpha hydrogen may be having some more acidic property here like this. And here there is no electron withdrawing group. Therefore, our answer is this is the first higher, and this is going to be the second higher, and another one is going to be, this is the third higher, like this. In this way, you will get this order. Let us see our answer. Answer is going to be the 4. Answer is going to be the 4. And that's why you can say that, see, that's why here this answer is 4. 1 is greater than 3. 1 is greater than 3. And 3 is greater than 2. Sorry, 2 is, here it is the reverse order. 1 is less than 3. This is the third one. 1 is less than 3 and 3 is less. That is more acidic, followed by this compound and followed by this one. Now another one is, this is actually from thermodynamics. Even though it is some related to our organic compound, that's why I took here the example. Now, the heat of hydrogenation of 3 compounds, X, Y, Z, respectively, 28.5, minus 30.3, and another one is going to be the minus 26.9. Means this is less energy than this one and this one. That means less this one and this is the higher in. That is, Y is the higher in energy, Z is the lesser in energy. Now let us see how this will be answered. First, we have to know what are these X, Y, Z. Here 2-methyl, 2-butene, 2-methyl, 1-butene, 3-methyl, 1-butene. No need of remembering all these things. See, here you have to compare which is more energy, which is less energy. That depends on the stability factor, that is depends on the symmetry. Let us see this one. Our answer is the first one is the answer. X is going to be the second compound. X is going to be the second compound. Y is going to be the third compound. Y is going to be the Y. What is Y? Here the Y is going to be the third compound, means this is going to be the Y. And Z is going to be the one, that is going to be this compound. Let me explain you how does it is. See, the 2-methyl 2-butene energy is 26.9, which is very lowest energy. Why? Because this is more symmetrical when compared to this and compared to this. See, the double bond is present between this and between this, it is at the center. Therefore, it is having more stability when compared to here. Whereas here, this double bond is shared with this carbon, and here it will be some methyl group is there. That's why this is more stable than this. And here, how you recognize the stability, you remember like this. Symmetry is more. That means the double bonded carbon is attaching different alkyl groups. More number of alkyl groups attached to the double bond, that will be more stable. Here 2 and 3 alkyl groups are there. That's why it is more stable. Whereas here 1 and here 2, that is only 2. Here 3, 1, 2, 3. Here only 1 and 2. Here it is only 1. That's why this is more stable than this one. This is more stable than. The compound which is more stable is less in energy. The compound which is more stable is less in energy. the compound less unstable having the more. In this way, you have to identify. No need of, but the energies, all these energies are not possible to remember. By looking at the compound, you have to identify which will more stable. You remember, it is a simple technique that I told you. Around the olefinic bond, you see the number of alkyl groups. And that is a simple hint to remember this one. Now let us go for this one. An alkene P, that is C5H12, on HBr addition followed by reaction with Zn and H plus gives Q, which can also be prepared from R and S. You try to read the question once again. What is here? A compound P on addition with HBr followed by reaction with Zn plus, and you will get the Q. And the same Q will be obtained by reacting this R and S. See this, whatever the product that is obtained from P, that is Q, the same Q is obtained by reacting R and S. Now we have to find out. What we have to find out? What are P, R and S? Let us first of all, let me tell you what is the answer for this one. After that, I will discuss all this reaction. The answer is going to be the third option is going to be the answer. That is, third option is this one. Why the third option is this one? Let me take. I will write all these equations. See, this is going to be the first option. The first option here, this is going to be P on reaction with HBr. You will get what is the compound here. This is going to be the tertiary bromoyl butane, and here zinc and H plus is a reducing reagent and removes bromide, and you will get the isoprene. See, this is going to be, this is P, and see what are the, you have to remember this terminology. Here I am taking this P, and in the second reaction I am taking R and S. First P reaction, the next reaction is the R and S. Now see, this is R and this is S. And this R, when reacted with this one, see here the chlorine is replaced by only one methyl group, and you will get only isobutane. This and this are not same. That's why whatever the product that is obtained from P is not related to the product obtained by from P, R and S. And here this is second option. The second option, when P is treated with HBr followed by Zn H+, and you will get the isoprene. Let us see how does this R and S. See, what is this R and S? R and S. By treating these two, how does it happen? See, this is going to be the R and this is S. This is tertiary butyl chloride on reaction with copper lithium. What happens here? The chlorine is replaced by one ethyl group. Therefore, this is the compound. This is nothing but this one, 2,2-dimethyl butane. And this is not same. That's why this also not correct answer. Now let us go for the third one. The P on reaction with HBr followed by this one, you will get isopentane. And here this is going to be the R and this is going to be the S. See, this is going to be the ethyl chloride when treated with the isopropyl copper lithium. And this isopropyl group is added in the place of the chlorine. Therefore, this is going to be the isopropyl group. This is, see, this is going to be the isopropyl group. And this is going to be the isopropyl group. And this is added to the here, and here this position. I'm speaking about this position, and this is going to be that position. Therefore, here also you'll get isopentane, here also you get isopentane. Therefore, this will be the right answer. Why not the fourth is right on? Why not the fourth answer is right? Because see, this is the P and HBr on reaction with this one, you will get here also isopentane. But when R and S, this is going to be the R and this is going to be this. This is a tertiary butyl chloride when treated with the dimethyl copper lithium, and this chlorine is replaced by this methyl. Therefore, you will get this compound. This is called as the neopentane. Therefore, this and this are not same. That's why this is also wrong answer. Only this will be going to be the correct answer. Now let us go for the another. What is the X in the following reaction? What is the X? X when treated with HBr followed by the peroxide will give this one. And what is the hex in this one? Whether this one or this one and this one or this one. See, let me first of all, I will give you the answer for this one. This is going to be the third option. You remember, whenever a peroxide is there in the reaction, yeah, you remember these are all alkenes. It is an addition reaction. Addition reaction follows two rules. One is said to be the Markovnikov's rules. Another is said to be the peroxide effect or Karash effect. Markovnikov's rule says that here that is going to be adds more stable cation. Peroxide effect is opposite to the Markovnikov's rule. Suppose if it follows the Markovnikov's rule, the halogen attached is here. If it is whenever peroxide is there, that go and adds here. Okay, let me tell you let me explain all these reactions. See here, this is the first case. This is the first option. When HBr and ROR is there, then because of this peroxide effect, the bromine is added to this carbon atom. That is, the carbon which has the more number of hydrogens will be added. Markovnikov rule lo aithe emavutundi, then it is going to be add here. That is a more stable cation. Or Markovnikov rule says that the negative part of the addendum goes to the carbon atom which contain less number of hydrogens. In peroxide effect or Karash effect, this adds to the more number of carbon atom. That's why, because it is a peroxide effect, therefore it adds on the more number of hydrogen. That's why here you will get. And here in this case, that is going to be add at this carbon atom, because here this is the more number of hydrogen, because 1, 2, 3, 4 already there is no hydrogen. That's why here the bromine is added. And because of this, and here there is a tertiary carbon, whereas here it is what I mean say, here it is a hydrogen, one hydrogen is there, and compared to here, this is the hydrogen content. Therefore, you will get this also, this product. Whereas here you can compare here it does not add the bromine is here, it adds here. That's why you will get this compound. And another important thing is that this what I meant say, this side and this side also it is same. Therefore, some few compounds. So that means the both compounds will be formed as a mixture, because there is a two requirements here also tertiary, here also. But this will be formed with less quantity, even though it will form. And our answer is this compound. Okay, let me see once again. Let me see. You need to get this bromine is at second position, and here it is a first position. Here at this position, whereas here this position and this position, only this facilitate the position is here. That's why our answer is third option. Now let us see another one. In alkene X, that is going to be the C8H8 on bromination followed by the reaction with alcoholic KOH, and then soda might give Y. Y on hydrogen yields Z. What is Z? Here the question is, it is mixed with different categories. Only it was asked Z. What we have to identify what is Z. Whenever there is a question is like this, we have to go in a reverse manner to find what is the product. We have to go in a reverse manner. You have to try this one. See here what is an alkene, that is X is an alkene. C8H8 means there must be a benzene ring. On bromination followed by reaction with alcoholic KOH, whenever an alcoholic KOH is used, first of all it is brominated. This is an alkene, means there is a double bond. Bromination means addition of the bromine. Alcoholic KOH means elimination of the bromine. Sodamide means it is a removal. That is what I mean say debromination, or what I mean say totally it is removed. I will explain you in this. First, let me tell you the answer is third option, and this is going to be the third option. Why it is the third option is the answer. Let us see, this is the question. See, this is the ketone. When ketone, actually it is a keto form and it is enol form. These are keto-enol form. And this enol form, when how does it is formed? By this is sodium acetylide, and this sodium acetylide is formed from the acetylide. And here this is going to be the, see, actually I am trying to give you an explanation to this in a reverse manner. And here the C8H8 means this is going to be the alkene, that is possible for this one. Whenever it is treated with the bromine, you will get this is the compound 1,2-dibromo compound. And when it is treated with the alcoholic KOH, Elimination takes place. H of this one, Br of this one, H of this one, Br. Therefore, you will get phenylacetylene, where this phenylacetylene having one terminal hydrogen. This is more acidic. When it is treated with the sodiumide, it is replaced by the what is called as the sodium acetylide is formed, which on hydrolysis the sodium is removed and you will get the OH. That means the negative part of the addendum always goes to the carbon atom which is having less number. That's why you will get OH. ఇక్కడ OH రాదండి, ఇక్కడ OH రావడానికి ఆస్కారం లేదు. Here you never get the OH is here according to the Markovnikov law. Here there is no peroxide, that's why OH never adds here, and that's why you will get. Suppose if the OH is added on the adjacent carbon, you will get this compound. Okay, and why the secondary alcohols is ruled out? The first option is ruled out because you see that whenever it is a primary alcohol, that is why it is not found a primary alcohol means there is a double bond is always present, and because of these reactions the double bond is present enol. Whenever it is enol, it is never formed the aldehyde, it is only from the ketone. That's why you see the secondary alcohol is not possible, aldehyde is not possible, primary alcohol is not possible because there is a formation of acetylene and hydrogen. That's why the third option is the right answer for this question. Now, which of the following statement is, you have to read question properly. If you are unable to read the question properly, you will miss this type of thing. The question includes not, sometimes in over enthusiasm or over tension we will miss this not, so that which is the correct statement, we will tick the correct statement only. That's why while reading the question you try to underline with your pen. Okay, this is a basic question, that's why try to identify what is the important point in this. And pen based, if it is a pen based paper, then you can underline this one. Otherwise it is a CBT, means computer based test. That's why you first find out which is an important point in the question, and we have to identify not correct statement. Okay, let us see this one, and let us see the first option is going to be the twist boat form is free from angle strain. Chair conformations is free from torsional strain. Board form possess Pizzer strain. Boat conformers is free from van der Waals strain. Okay, this is a very simple one. You have to go through the conformational analysis. And actually the fourth option where this is a wrong statement. Why? Because whenever you go to the boat conformation, this is going to be the boat conformation. You can have the boat conformation like this. See here you can have the boat conformation of this compound is like this. Whenever here the components are there, substitutions are there, here some other substitution you see, and here also there is another substitution will be present, and here this is another, this is another. Whenever these substitutions are like this, there must be not free from van der Waals forces. There will be some van der Waals forces will be operated. That's why this is only the wrong statement, remaining all are the right statement. That's why our answer is the fourth one. Now this is another one. What are X, Y, Z in the following conversion? Benzene on treating with the X, Y and Z, meta-nitrobenzoic acid is formed. What is the X, what is Y, what is Z? Okay, there are four options are there. Let us react the benzene with these four options in the same sequence. Let me tell you first of all the answer. The answer is 2. See, the answer is, our answer is the second option. Why it is the second option? What is the product we should get? The product must be a meta-nitrobenzoic acid must be the product. Let us see. Let us take the benzene and first react with this one, then followed by this one, followed by this one. I will explain you this reaction. This is the first option. When benzene is treated with the methyl chloride, you will get here in presence of anhydrous AlCl3. This is going to be the Friedel-Crafts alkylation. You will get the methyl benzene. When methyl benzene is treated with the sulfuric acid, nitric acid, this is going to be the it is a nitration mixture. Nitration of the benzene takes place because the methyl group is ortho para directing group, and that's why you will get the ortho position and nitro position, and finally it is treated with the what is called as the KMnO4 or oxidizing reagent. You will get this compound. Therefore here what is the our answer is it should be meta-nitrobenzoic acid. The last reagent is KMnO4 in OH. Whenever it is treated with the KMnO4 and OH, and this methyl group is oxidized to the benzoic acid. That's why this is ruled out, because it does not give meta-nitrobenzoic acid. Let us take this example. Methyl benzene, when treated with the methyl chloride, methyl benzene is formed. Then in the second step it is treated with the potassium permanganate. You got this is the benzoic acid. The COH group is a meta-directing group. Therefore, you will get the meta-nitrobenzoic acid. That's why the second option is right. Why the third and fourth option is wrong? Because when benzene is treated with this nitration mixture, you will get the nitrobenzene, and whenever it is treated with the tin and HCl, it is undergo reduction to give the aniline. This aniline, on treating with the methyl chloride in presence of aluminum chloride, the alkylation of this amine takes place. You will get N-alkyl, N-methyl aniline you will get. Therefore, this is not meta-nitrobenzoic acid. Now let us go for this one. See, in this case, benzene when treated with the sulfuric acid, you will get the compound is going to be the nitrobenzene, and here this is nitrobenzene. When it is treated with this methyl chloride anhydrous, and this you will get this CH3, and here on treating with the per acids, and this undergo carboxylic acid, and but this is a vigorous condition, it is undergone in different way. Therefore, our answer is going to be this compound, that is going to be this one. The second option is the correct way to get the meta-nitrobenzoic acid. Now let us go for the another reaction. Let us see. Identify the correct match pair from the following. And this is also very important concept for most of the entrance examination. See, the OMe, that is methoxy group or alkoxy group shows plus M minus I effect. The NO2 group shows only plus M effect. And the acetone, that is this group NHCO, N-acetyl group shows minus M. And here aldehyd shows minus. Then let us see which is the correct, what I mean say correct match. 2 and 3 or 1 and 3 or 2 and 4 or 1 and 4. Let me tell you first of all, the answer is the 1 and 4 only. One is methoxy group always shows plus M and minus I effect, whereas the fourth option aldehyd shows this is what is minus M effect. Then how to remember this? I have given provided here the group which shows minus effect are the in our option NO2 and CHO is there. This both shows the minus M effect, and you can see here the NO2 is plus M effect. That's why the second is the wrong matched. Of course, the fourth one is the minus M effect. That will be correct one. And now the other one, you can see this one. Group shows plus M effect is the alkoxy groups and NHCOCr. And here in our options, it is given as the, here the alkoxy group shows the plus M effect, it is right. And another one is the NHCOCH3 is given, shows the plus M effect, but it is given as minus. Okay, regarding the inductive effect, I provided another table to try to remember this one. This is going to be the table where the how does activation takes place, and this group shows plus I, minus I effect. This group shows plus I effect. In this, what is our this alkoxy group shows the minus I effect. That's why, and here if you see this one, this is going to be the right answer. 1 and 4th is the right answer. That is correct matched. How? And here this is the correct one, because the methoxy group shows both effect plus M minus I, and fourth one shows this one shows the minus M effect, whereas NH and CO3 shows the, this shows the plus M effect, this shows the minus, but it is reverse is given. That's why these options are wrong. Now let us go for the another question. Major product from the following reactions. CNBS. You remember whenever NBS is there, it is an N-bromosuccinamide, and this is always used for the bromination at allylic position. Allylic position means here this is a double bond, and here this is said to be the vinylic position, this is said to be the allylic position. That's why this is ruled out, this is ruled out, this is ruled out, only this is going to be the correct answer. Let me explain you how does it happens. See, this is going to be the N-succinamide, this is N-bromosuccinamide, and during the reaction, how does it has happened? This NBS always used for the substitution at allylic position. Whenever NBS is there, only this position it will be reacts, and here the bromine is substituted. Now let us see this one. The product from the following reaction and mechanism of its formation. Then what is the product of this one? There is no doubt the chlorine is replaced by OH. In all compounds, OH is there. Only we have to find out what is the position of the OH in the reaction, and another one whether it is SN1 or SN2. Because it is a ring opening reaction. It is a ring opening reaction. And here, let me tell you first of all, the answer is 3. Let me explain you how does it happens. Because it is a, see, this is the option is right, this is going to be the SN2 reaction. How does it will be? The OH is going to be added in the opposite side of the chlorine where the chlorine is replaced. And these two reactions simultaneously takes place. That's why in rate determining step, OH minus and chlorine both are present, and you will get the OH is at the opposite position to the leaving group. That's why this is only the product that happens. And another one is this is secondary carbon alkyl halide, therefore it goes, it undergo both SN1 and SN2, but in particular case, because it is a what I meant to say, a ring structure, that's why it is less hindered side, that's why it is undergo SN2. Suppose if it is any other bulky groups are there, in that case it never undergo SN2, it undergo SN1 in that. Here base it is less hindered, that's why it is added here, and therefore this is the case that happens. Now 2-methyl 1,2-butene on reaction with diborane and hydrogen peroxide gave an alcohol of X. Which of the following reaction give isomer of X, which is a tertiary alcohol? Here what is the question you have to understand first of all. The question is, when this is treated with diborane and hydrogen peroxide, it is also follows anti-Marconi approach. You will get a compound X, okay? And following reactions gave isomer of X. Here, this is not X, isomer of X, and this is always a tertiary alcohol. And we have to find out what is the X in this reaction. We have to find out what is the X in this reaction. Which of the following reaction give this one? See, among these 3, which will give the tertiary alcohol, and that must be an isomer of this X. Okay, in this, first of all, let me tell you what is the answer for this one. The first one is the answer. The first is the answer, and this is going to be the answer. Why it is answer, I will explain you now. See what happens. For example, you take the first option here. See, first I will take 2-methyl 2-butane on reaction with this one. Let us find out the X. After that, when what happens when this first one is treated with this one, second one treated with this one. Let me explain. This is the question. When 2-methyl 2-butane is treated with the diborane in presence of hydrogen peroxide, you will get this is the alcohol. This is a secondary alcohol, you remember. And isomer of this one may be a primary alcohol, okay, but in the question is given it is tertiary alcohol. Let us say what happened the first one. The first one is given as 1, 2, 3, 1. This is given as 2-butanone. When treated with the Grignard reagent, you will get this an intermediate, and this reaction is well known to you. During the reaction, what happens? This bond is shifted to here, pi bond is attracted, and here what happens? The methyl group added here, and the MgBr is added here. That's why you will get this compound, which on hydrolysis you will get. What is the compound? a tertiary alcohol. It is isomer or not? Let us see. How many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, these two are isomers with each other and tertiary alcohol. Therefore, this is right. This will be according to our question. Now, let us go for with this one. See, whenever it is a double bond, whenever it is treated with the dilute sulfuric acid, it undergo what is called as an intermediate, which on hydrolysis, that is dilute means where is the water is there. Therefore, here also you will get the tertiary alcohol. And here see the carbons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, this is also isomer of this one. And in the same time, it is tertiary alcohol. And let us take this third option, dilute sulfuric acid when treated with this one. Here, because there is a double bond is here, and the alcohol is go and add here, therefore you will get the position is here. There is no doubt this is also isomer of this one, but it is not a tertiary alcohol. Therefore, this is not according to our answer. Therefore, what is our option? See, 1 and 2 only gives this X, that is alcohol, that is isomer of the X. In this way, we have to find out the answer for that one. Now, which of the following conversion represent the coal-base reaction? Phenol to salicylaldehyde, phenol to anisole, phenol to salicylic acid, phenol to picric acid. I will explain you first all these four reactions. Before going to that, let us see this one. The third answer is going to be the third option. But let us discuss all these reactions. This is going to be the phenol to salicylic acid is a coal-base reaction. Let us discuss all these reactions. What is a coal-base reaction? That is phenoxide ion when treated with the carbon dioxide will give the a sodium salt of this that is called salicylic acid, and finally you will get the salicylic acid and acidification. This is coal-base reaction. And let us see what is phenol to anisole. How does it is carried phenol to anisole? Phenol, when treated with the sodium hydroxide, you will get this compound, which on treating with the methyl bromide, you will get the anisole. And this conversion, preparation of ethers is said to be the what is called Williamson synthesis. It is not, this is Kolbe, but to know the remaining reaction, this is called Williamson synthesis. Now another one is, this is Remer-Tiemann reaction. Phenol to salicylaldehyde is a Remer-Tiemann reaction, where the chloroform is treated with the potassium hydroxide and chloroform, you will get the salicylaldehyde. You can go through this mechanism. You can pause the our video and you can go through this mechanism. Now let us see. Phenols upon treatment with the dilute nitric acid undergo nitration at low temperature and to give a mixture of ortho and para nitrophenols. When phenol is treated with the concentrated nitric, remember, whenever it is treated with the dilute nitric acid, you will get ortho and para nitrophenol. When a phenol is treated with the concentrated nitric acid, the nitration results in the formation of 2,4,6-trinitrophenol, which is commonly called as the picric acid. This is what is this. Phenol, when treated with the dilute nitric acid, you will get ortho para nitrophenol. When it is treated with the concentrated nitric acid, you will get 2,4,6-trinitrophenol or picric acid. It has no name reaction. It is not a name reaction. That's why our answer is coal-base reaction is only salicylic acid, phenol to salicylic acid. Now let us go for the another one. 1-phenoxypropane can be prepared from which of the following reaction? See, phenol and sodium hydroxide followed by treating with the alkyl halide. Then it is going to be the isopropyl alcohol with the sodium and alkyl, that is phenyl bromide, bromobenzene, and similarly secondary alcohol with the this one and this one. You remember that this is based on the Williamson synthesis actually. Answer is only this one. Only the ethers. 1-phenoxypropane means it is a ether. The ether generally prepared by Williamson synthesis. And this Williamson synthesis is nothing but the alkoxides, sodium alkoxides, and treating with the alkyl halide give the ether. Here, this will give, why the first answer is right is, and this mixture will give the sodium alkoxide, sodium phenoxide. On treating with this one, you will alkyl halide that will give the compound. That's why this is only will produces 1-phenoxypropane, that is called Williamson synthesis. Now this is, you can see this. Phenol on treating the sodium hydroxide, you will get sodium phenoxide, and this will give one phenoxypropane is the answer. This name reaction, this is called as Williamson's synthesis, that you remember this one. And this never give, the remaining never give the ethers. That's why these are the ruled out. Now let us go for the other one is, see, we have to match this one. Here, match the following. This is going to be the oxime. This is going to be the acetal. See, and I will take a pen. Actually, see, when a ketone or aldehyde, that is carbonyl compound, when treated with the hydroxylamine NH2CA, here like this NH2OH, see here NH2OH, that will give the oxime. This is going to be the oxime. And now, and how does this is formed? This is formed when carbonyl carbons are treated with the alcohols. When carbonyl carbon is treated with the alcohols, you will get the compound is called as the acetals. We call that compounds are called as the acetals. Therefore, and this is going to be the acetal. This is going to be the acetal. And another one, this is going to be the phenyl hydrazine. This is going to be the phenyl hydrazine. That is going to be the, when this carbonyl carbon, when treated with the what is called as the phenyl hydrazine, the phenyl hydrazine formula is going to be this one, NH and NH2. This is going to be the phenyl hydrazine formula. Therefore, you will get a phenyl hydrazine. Therefore, this is going to be the phenyl hydrazine. Therefore, this is going to be this compound. Now, another one is, this is called as the semi-carbazide. Semi-carbazide is nothing but when carbonyl compounds are treated with the semi-carbazide. The formula of the semi-carbazide is like this: NH2, CO, NH, and NH2. And this is going to be another is the NH2. And in this way, when it is treated with this semi-carbazide, this is called semi-carbazide, and you will get semi-carbazone. Where is semi-carbazone? Here it is going to be the semi-carbazide. This is semi-carbazone, this is semi-carbazone. And here this is going to be this one. Okay, here it is semi-carbazone, not this one. And this is going to be this one. Okay, here I will take the eraser. Okay, here this is wrong. Okay, now this is going to be the semi-carbazone. Now see the answer. What is our answer? The fourth option is the answer. That is going to be this one, and you can check this one. That is going to be the fourth option is the right answer. Now here identify the following reaction. Let us see, there are 4 reactions is given. Among this, which reaction is this reaction? I will discuss, first of all, let me tell you the answer. The first one, this is the Michael condensation. Let me explain all these 4 reactions. This is the Michael addition. In Michael addition, you remember there must be a carbonyl carbon, at least it contains an alpha hydrogen. It is always undergone addition with a, what I meant to say, a compound that is like this, an alkene. That is going to be a carbon-carbon is bond formed like this. That's why in presence of a base, actually the hydrogen is removed and a carbanion generated, and this carbanion is added to here, and finally you will get this reaction. This is called as Michael reaction. What is Mannich reaction? You remember, in the case of the Mannich reaction, there will be 3 components are present. This is a multi-component condensation. One must be a non-enolizable aldehyde, means which do not have any alpha hydrogen. Another is a ammonia or primary secondary amine. Ammonia or primary secondary. And another one is enolizable, means at least they must contain at least one alpha hydrogen. See this one. This is a amine, and this is a non-enolizable carbonyl compound, and this is enolizable carbonyl. And these 3 components undergo condensation, you will get a compound. This is commonly called as Mannich. This type of reaction is called Mannich reaction. Now let us see Navigal reaction. What is Navigal reaction? In this, you remember there is an active methylene group. You have to remember here it is an active methylene group. The active methylene group is nothing but the methylene group. Methylene group is nothing but CH2. When flanked between the two carbonyl carbon, that is called what I meant to say, active methylene group. There is an active methylene group that is added to the a carbonyl carbon. It may be an aldehyde or a ketone, and that we will give this compound. And this reaction is called as the Navier condensation. And what is Perkin reaction? Perkin reaction is nothing but the benzaldehyde on treating with the any anhydride, that is acetic anhydride in presence of sodium acetate. You remember the benzaldehyde, whenever it is treated with this acetic anhydride and sodium acetate, you remember there must be relation between these two. Whatever the anhydride we use, the sodium salt of the same carboxylic acid we should use. And you will get the sodium salt of cinnamic acid, and finally on acidification you will get the cinnamic acid. This compound is called as the cinnamic acid. That is, formation of cinnamic acid is occur in a Perkin reaction. Now let us see, other one is propanaldehyde on reagent with X gives the oxime and P2O5 gives Y. And I just now we discussed that is X is nothing but here oxime always is found from hydroxylamine. The X is always what is said to be the hydroxylamine. This is going to be the X, NH2OH. This is going to be the hydroxylamine. This is going to be the X is here. Okay. Now the propanaldehyde on reaction with this and after that P2O5. P2O5 is a dehydrating agent, removes the water molecule. Let me tell you first of all the answer is 2. This is going to be the answer. And why it is going to be the answer? Let us explain. Let me explain the entire reaction. This is going to be a propanaldehyde, and when treated with the what is called that is hydroxylamine, and here this water see this what happens, this will remove in the form of the water. In the form of the water you will get the oxime. This oxime when treated with the phosphorus pentoxide, it is a dehydrating agent, removes the water. How does? OH from here and hydrogen from here. Therefore what is the compound you got? Ethyl cyanide is formed. That ethyl cyanide is, this is the compound. Now let us see which of the following pair is represent the enantiomers. For this very simple technique I will tell you. See, that is a Kohn, Ingold, Prelog rule. We have to give the priority rule for them, and then after priority, then you have to see whether it is a clockwise or anti-clockwise. Suppose whenever a lesser priority group is present on the vertical, that is vertical horizontal position, and here whatever the priority, whatever the clockwise or anti-clockwise you'll get, you have to think about in opposite direction. Okay, in the, for example, if the least among this the least priority group is hydrogen, if it is present in the horizontal position, and according to the Kohn-Ingold principle, whatever the configuration you will get, and that having the opposite. If you want to this least priority in the vertical position, you have to make it interconversion. Okay, but you better to remember without interconversion, whatever you observe whenever it is present on horizontal, simply you go for the opposite. Now let us see, this is among this chlorine is the first priority because its number, atomic number is greater. Among the two carbons are there, but whenever the same atoms are present first, then go for the second atom. Here the second atom is hydrogen, and here the second atom is oxygen. Therefore you have to give the priority 2, and this is going to be the priority 3, and it is going to be the 4. Therefore it is the least priority. Now let us see, see your eyes, how does it is from priority rule. Therefore it is like this, and therefore whenever it is like this, it is going to be the what configuration? It is anti-clockwise. Therefore its original configuration is R, but by looking at this is this. Similarly, let us go for this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And let us see how does it will be. This is also in the same direction. Therefore this and this is on the same clockwise. Therefore both having the same configuration. And similarly this is 1, and the priority is 2, priority 3. neglect the least priority one. Therefore, see the clockwise or anti-clockwise. This is also in the same clockwise direction, the same direction, because these three are in the same configuration. Therefore, you see 2 and 3, 2 and 3 are the same configuration. 1 and 3, 1 and 3 also same configuration. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 also same configuration. Let us see 1 and 4, what is this configuration? See, this is going to be the 1, this is going to be the 2, this is going to be the 3. And see the priority one, this is in opposite configuration. Therefore, in this 1 and 4 are in opposite configuration. Therefore, they are said to be the enantiomers. Therefore, our answer is the fourth is our answer. Now, let us see in which of the following conformers dipolar repulsions are present. See, dipolar repulsions are nothing but, see here. Here there is a 2 chlorines are there. Therefore, they are adjacent to each other. That's why this is a bulky group, and it is a bulky group and having 7, that is 6 over 3 pairs of electron. Therefore, there is a repulsion between these two because they are adjacent. That's why they are dipolar repulsions are there in this one. That's why our answer is 1. But suppose why these are not? Because here hydrogen and chlorine, because it is a small size and more that is when here this is more electronegative, this is less electronegative. There is no repulsion. Instead of repulsion, there is some attractions are there. And here also chlorine and OH, here also there is attraction. You can have the intramolecular hydrogen bond. The hydrogen of this one, chlorine of this one will be weakly attracted. No repulsion, there is attraction. Here also there is dimethyl groups are there. This is alkyl group, this is also alkyl group. Here it is a steric hindrance, not dipolar interaction, because these are not charged one. These are the neutral one having no negative charge, but here a steric hindrance present, not dipolar. That's why our answer is the 1. That is going to be our answer. Now let us go for this one. Which of the following represent the correct order of aromaticity? That is going to be the benzene, anthracene. Okay, let me explain in this. The second one is already I discussed this one. Benzene greater than naphthalene, greater than anthracene. Why? Because the reason you see this one. Naphthalene and benzene, you know, naphthalene, anthracene, and one more compound I added for your to consider this one. Naphthalene, anthracene, and phenanthracene. See, the resonance energy of the phenanthracene is 92 kilojoules, whereas the anthracene is 84, and naphthalene is 61, and benzene is 36. See, here there is 2 benzene rings, here 3 benzene rings, here 3 benzene rings. For one benzene ring is 36, whereas the benzene ring that is in naphthalene 61. Therefore, you consider for each, what happens? That is going to be the 30.5 only for each benzene ring. And in the case of the naphthalene, here this is the case in the naphthalene, that is going to be the 30.5, whereas in the phenanthracene it is going to be 30.3. Why it is 30.3 in phenanthracene? 92 divided by 1, 2, 3. Therefore, here it's going to be 30.3. And in the phenanthrene, okay, in the naphthalene it is going to 30 in phenanthrene, and 28 kilojoules per mole in anthracene, because anthracene, what is the energy? It is only 84. 84 divided by 3 benzene ring, that's why you'll get only 28. That's why you see benzene has more resonance energy when compared to the naphthalene. It has more resonance energy than the naphthalene. This is the phenanthrene and this is the naphthalene, and 28 is this. Therefore, order of the stability depends on resonance energy. More is the resonance energy, more is the stability, more will be the aromatic character. Therefore, the order of the aromatic character, benzene is greater than phenanthrene, almost, because 30.5, 30.3, this is almost same, and it is greater than the anthracene. Therefore, their aromatic character also in the same order. This you remember. Now let us see this other one, the major product from the following reaction and mechanism of this one. This is a ring opening reaction, and first of all, let me tell you the answer. Second one is answer, it is a Sento reaction. Because it is a ring opening, because it is a cyclopropene, highly strained one. That's why here the this is going to be the adds on the opposite direction like this. See here, The second option, you can see the OH is present here, that is a tertiary carbon atom, and here that is going to be the ring opening, and here that other one with the methoxide is added. That's why the simultaneous substitution and ring opening takes place. That's why it is going to be the SN2 reaction, SN2 mechanism, and the product is this is the one. See, with this I can conclude our discussion. I'm trying to give you almost most of the basics which is more useful for the different competitive examination. Now for MSc Chemistry, JOM, IIT Main, JEE Mains, like that. These concepts I think are more useful to you. And in the coming days, I will also prepare some more videos on different question papers, and also I will give you some basic concepts in the chemistry. If you like this video, you can share this one, and also you can subscribe. That my channel name is there Ashok Elshala or Elshala's Chemistry. Thank you for watching this video, and you can share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you, one and all.